Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the sacred cavern. Dahlia Hawthorne, everyone's best friend. Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say.
Die.
Fine. If it hadn't been for this case, the policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-tooth combs. Or combs with a very wide gap if their history is anything to go on.
The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word.
Oh, I have a better word. How about stupid?
Yep. It's not like you could have just gone up to the people and say, "Hey, look at this. This is gonna happen if you go there."
He sucks. He sucks so much. I hate him.
Yes,
What an
good.
asshole.
Embrace the hatred.
Are you a Sith Lord now?
Hello everyone and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Your Pixels are here with guest Binks and we are continuing Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations, and we will be finishing things up right here.
I disassociated a little bit when I saw Maya's age is listed as just as deceased. It's like, okay, guys, edgy much. You could have just said deceased instead of bothering with an age category. God. There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister. Maya didn't remember that.
Mia Fey.
You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Dun, 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 dun.
You were actually hot and probably a decent guy.
Maybe.
Well, somewhat.
Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney?
Man, this judge don't know shit. With your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now.
Oh
Don't
my
be
God,
rude,
stop.
Phoenix. I see how it is. You only go after the ones weaker than you.
Right?
Hopefully. The judge has dunked on Phoenix so many times in his life. This is a jab well worth it.
That's true.
The real name of this man who calls himself Godot. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? Yeah, that's what I felt in my heart.
And if this was a telenovela, all the audience would gasp dramatically.
Oh my god, yeah. The camera would flip over there real fast.
The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago.
Diego Armando. That name.
The way you said
It's
it.
necessary. I feel like you gotta edit it in.
Yes. I'm just imagining the judge being like super gay about it. Like
Oh my
clutching
god.
his chest.
That name rings a bell in my memories.
Long, long ago, my heart. No, I can't say it.
It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court. The tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. She couldn't Scooby-Doo that bitch. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense lawyer at the office where Mia worked.
It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself.
Mia, you can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
Yeah, he was way cooler back then.
He's so strong to be able to do that. Like, that's inhuman.
Mm-hmm. That's why he's got robot eyes.
I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. That pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria.
I actually am just now wondering, why did she want to meet with him instead of targeting Mia herself? You know?
Yeah.
To
I
hurt
guess
her.
because she, at that point in... Well, no.
Okay. I have a theory, just because he was the support in that case, is that Mia continued to lean on him during cases, probably. And they probably were both investigating Dahlia further together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean,
but if
she
I
saw
was
the
Dahlia, I
opening with
would've
the
gone
coffee.
after Mia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think maybe she probably knew Mia wouldn't meet her. Because if I was Mia, I wouldn't do it. Mia had the brain cell at the time.
True. Oh well, just one of those things we'll never know.
Until another game 10 years from now.
Retcon shit.
Honestly, though.
Oh, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned.
Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee.
Some newspapers at the time called it a murder. But very little information about the case was released to the press.
But you weren't dead at all.
No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma.
I see.
My body shut down, and my life became nothing but a long and deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused.
That's terrible.
Apparently it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poisoned brew. Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee.
5 years? You were asleep for 5 years.
And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered, and the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death.
The woman you loathed.
The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
That's so sad.
For someone like me, for someone who had slipped away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor.
If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live?
The first was you, trite.
That's gay. Huh? Me? I'm sorry, I'm already married.
No, I see hate sex between them.
I don't. Phoenix, run away. Get away from that man. He's bad for you.
If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died. Much less the way she did. Well, considering how you handled all this, I sincerely doubt that. You'd have done some convoluted half-assed plan that would have gotten maybe her killed and someone else as well.
Probably him.
Yeah.
You were the only one who was there to protect her. But you let her die. It was all your fault.
Bro, how do you figure? It wasn't like that.
I wanted to see for myself what kind of a man you really were.
So that's why you became a prosecutor.
My other reason for living. She goes by the name of Maya Fey.
Huh? You mean me?
You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Karain village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her.
That's how you overheard Pearls' visit with Morgan at the detention center.
I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it by going up to you and— oh wait, no. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it.
So dumb.
Hold the phone just a second. You used Mia as bait. I mean, Maya, excuse me. You used Maya as bait.
Yep.
You're an asshole.
Yep.
'Cause if you really cared, you wouldn't have used her as bait. Dahlia was already dead. You just wanted to stab Dahlia to alleviate some of that hate boner.
Yep.
Yep.
And
You're
he
an asshole.
still let
Die.
a 6-year-old almost do something horrible. He could have
Yeah.
destroyed that letter so she would never see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm skipping that line because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Wait, what did Phoenix say?
He said that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. Phoenix, you're wrong. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. Which
Yeah.
is why he should have taken the letter and eaten it.
Yeah, or
and then gone on a vacation.
yeah, like even if you feel she would have like gotten, because like she probably would have gotten upset if she couldn't find the letter, and she might have told Morgan about it. So you could have like told Phoenix, and they could have somehow tried to explain this to her, because she already knows that her mother's in jail for trying to kill Maya once.
Yeah, she's not gonna willingly try and help murder Maya. She loves Maya more than Morgan.
Mm-hmm. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices.
The other reason I hate him. He had to go and drag 2 people.
Yep.
Accomplices.
Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Faye. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Faye.
See, what the F? You were gonna ruin Iris's life?
You were going to ruin Iris's life and let Pearl do stuff. You fucker. That's a child. He's a coward. That's the only reason he didn't own up to any of this. He's a fucking coward who has a revenge boner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What an asshole.
But how did you contact my mother?
And you know, Misty Faye really isn't that much better.
Oh, she could have
Misty,
said
what the
something.
fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, she's been avoiding her daughter all this time, even when Mia died.
Yep.
She had been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
What? What do you mean, officially?
You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government.
What the fuck? Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Kurain had great authority.
Even without her official position, Misty Faye still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
So my mother was cooperating with you?
You fucking suck.
Don't ever forget how much I fucking suck. No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. Which is why she never visited. Which is why she never called. Which is why she never wrote one single fucking letter.
Parents suck here.
Yes.
That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff.
Her staff. The one with the sword in it.
The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Faye, if necessary.
Then why didn't she fucking stay with Maya?
Why didn't she say, "Hey daughter, I'm your mother, let's go somewhere far away, someone's gonna try and kill you"? Oh no.
Why didn't she just take the fucking fall and kill Morgan?
Yes.
Like, even when she did reunite with her, like when they first met her, she was like giving Pearl all her attention and she pushed Maya away.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price.
Mother, you suck.
Yep. This is why Phoenix is your mother now.
Yes.
Nix and Edgeworth are her parents.
Yep.
That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan.
You mean pearls, don't you?
We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh shit, it was me, right?
Yeah.
Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight?
Well,
If you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together.
We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan. But she never showed up. You know what else is kind of fucked up now that I'm thinking about it? What if they hadn't been able to prevent Pearl from channeling Dahlia? Would they have just killed Pearl?
Mm-hmm.
She was worried and followed me to the inner temple.
That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Misty Faye had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body.
What? What do you mean?
If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself.
As Master of Karain, Misty Faye's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Faye wouldn't be able to.
What?
What? Is this true?
That's why I hid myself at the inner temple. Just in case you needed to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne.
Godot. I'm not calling you Godot anymore, it's Godot, because that's not even your real fucking name.
Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, trite.
Huh?
There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense lawyer. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself.
The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Fey, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot.
Well, trite. If you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show
I'm ready
us-
to put you in a trap again.
Yes, show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own.
No, Nick! Please don't!
Maya. He killed your mom.
I heard the whole thing. From my sister, in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, He's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia. And me, too.
Maya. I guess I know that. Except for that's not how this works.
Nick,
Even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify.
Miss Faye, your testimony, please.
This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. God, you really are her parent. Jesus Christ. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
All right, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder?
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness.
These red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them, you liar.
I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Things break trite, even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? It looks like you still can't prove it.
Maya is telling the truth this time. I know it. The rest is up to me.
Well then, Mr. Wright. Proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness.
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them.
Lights shining in the dark? I don't think you could make a mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure they were from Mr. Godot's mask either.
I don't get the feeling she's covering from her and the. I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but. But just after that, you turned toward the lights and called for help. Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time. But I can't remember. After all, there was a person I couldn't identify in front of me.
Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly.
Alright. Alright, then let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red light?
I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood.
That blood, was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood?
I think so, probably. Just at that moment, I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close. It was a woman's voice.
So that was when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with a murder weapon. Is that right?
Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation.
Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that?
He wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her.
Struck back? How do you know that?
Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly. But I could tell by the sounds of their breathing and movement. And also, the smell of blood.
You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should ever have to in one life.
Damn truth, that's pretty much like the subtitle of the series.
Jesus Christ.
So then, what did you do at that point?
I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do.
Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, I think so. But suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark.
They went out?
Yes, suddenly I couldn't see them at all.
What could it mean?
If the red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight,
Maybe the mask was damaged.
or maybe it was knocked off.
Or maybe the batteries ran out. Right, trite?
Or maybe those little red pinhead looking lights just stopped working.
Could have really happened then.
Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream.
What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the right... Yeah. Brain just short-circuited there. Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out?
Yes, that's right.
The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice.
What? So then that scream came from the killer.
That's got to be it.
I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it.
And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh?
After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess.
Well, Mr. Wright. It seems to make sense to me.
It sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder. I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction.
That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct. Oh, poor John.
I was gonna make a joke
I mean-
like, well, the first clue that something's wrong is that you're agreeing to it.
Yeah.
Which beats you to it.
Remember the testimony she just gave, before the killer let out a scream. Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim.
Is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff.
If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite.
There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here.
If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer?
The fucking knife, you nerd. Naturally, the dagger that the killer brought to the scene of the crime.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree.
Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me.
Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this. And she managed to wound him as well.
Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim.
Take off your shirt, Godot. Let's see them titties. That's what I've been thinking about. It's like, it's gonna be like Von Karma, where Von Karma's got a fucking bullet wound. It's gonna be, he's got a fucking stab wound patched up. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body.
Ooh, take it off.
Yeah, let's go. Hello?
Hello?
There we go.
Yay!
Okay, I thought the screen froze, but it was me.
No.
So that you guys didn't hear my joke about throwing dollar bills.
Oh no!
No, we didn't.
Damn you, Discord!
Aw.
So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer?
Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood.
Nice theory, Trite.
Take off your shirt and pants. We can't be sure that she didn't get you in the leg.
Order in the court.
Is this the end? Have I done it? No, because this guy always puts a fucking wrench in things. Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test. Are you sure about that? You really sure? Edgeworth's pulled fucking weirder shit on you before.
I have so much caffeine in my blood, it's beyond identification. Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that?
Yeah.
What?
Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already a blood stain on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom.
Yes, what does that prove?
Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it.
Buddy, just shut the fuck up. Like, if Gumshoe found it, he'd probably mention it, and then there'd be a wrench in your fucking plans, and then you'd have to produce the knife, and you would have forgotten to fucking wipe the blood off because you couldn't see it. Blood. You stupid bastard! You couldn't see the blood, could you? Oh, it can't be.
In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trite. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance!
In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. Alright then, witness.
Wait a minute.
What's the problem?
I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation.
Maya, you have no power here.
This dagger, you said that it wounded the killer.
Yeah, that's right.
But... If Mr. Godot had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right?
Maya? Maybe he just changed his clothes? That'd solve the contradiction pretty quickly, or easily.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder? Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there.
Oh, that's right. That means none of you have taken a shower. Ew.
Well, Phoenix did.
And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple.
Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes.
Honey, he could have just brought a change of clothes. This is so premeditated. He could have brought a whole fucking suitcase. He probably camped out in the fucking woods. Oh, I hate this game. Thank you, Phoenix, for saying the exact same shit I was saying. Maybe he brought a change of clothes with him.
But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes?
Game calling you out, Moon.
Did the judge just take smart pills during the last recess? Oh my god. Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. Okay. Alright. Alright, you know what? Actually, Phoenix, that actually could be. Because people have done that before. Anyway. That way, he wouldn't get any blood on them. Yes, he's
That's
dick-ass naked
impossible,
and
Trite. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid.
Starting with your wee-wee.
He's imagining it. Ha! So that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here... she would have closed the book on this case already.
Look, I know I don't have the tits to do this job, but you know what? She's dead. Can we move on? She's dead. If Mia Fey were here.
So come on, Trite! Can you do it or not?
How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer. But can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence?
The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. That's why you get him to strip. Mia would have gotten him to strip. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer.
Sorry, I was throwing up a little at the thought of him and Mia together.
Who and Mia together? What?
Godot.
Oh.
Because, you know, he's so garbage that he doesn't deserve her.
No, like, he would have been, like, kicked out so fucking fast. He would have been, like, the crazy ex-boyfriend kind of shit. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition just as you want it.
Ha! That's good. A fighter till the bitter end, Trite. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the ultimate penalty?
Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need.
Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite.
So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle.
Alright then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got.
There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger.
But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing.
Y'all are so goddamn fucking stupid. There's one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wound.
What did you say?
Hidden?
This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound.
It's the end of the line, the final stop trait. Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound? Ha! I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trite? What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him?
Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. How did he not notice that she was in Pearl, though?
He
It's
did.
beneath your mask. During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? You have a dagger wound under there somewhere. Then I'd say this whole case is solved.
Grog!
Do you just have fireworks in your pants? What the fuck was that?